So this is something I didn't know was going on. Putting on tags on my Twitch or Punk Far Cry Blood Dragon FPS shooter. Close enough. Good enough. So I didn't know this was a thing. Reminder that Valve is fighting the Rothschilds in court right now. Over fucking what? So I understand the Rothschild is like a Western European wealth management industry. Background. Valve sells Rothschild and his entities are patent trolls running a business model of mass patent assertions and quick settlements. Valve seeks a declaratory judgment that the U.S. patent number 8,856,221 is invalid and unenforceable against Valve and claims breach of contract and violations of Washington's Patent Troll Prevention Act and Consumer Protection Act. Washington, so the state of Washington. Oh. Are they headquartered in Washington State? I didn't know that. Background, the deal that's centered the fight in earlier litigation, Display Technologies, a Rothschild company, sued Valve in 2015 over patent number blah. The parties settled in 2016 with a Global Settlement and License Agreement Act, giving Valve a perpetual irrevocable paid-up worldwide license and a covenant not to sue on portfolio of the Rothschild patents and their family members. Interesting. Didn't know the Rothschilds were in that. Drinking water. As of 26 January, Valve has won the lawsuit with Rothschild, and now the case will be proceeding into settling how much money Rothschild owes the Valve for their patent trolling. Can't stop winning even in court. Damn, didn't know Gabe Newell was an anti-Semite. What are you doing picking on the poor Rothschilds? They've already lost so much from Hitler. You're just you're not pouring salt in the wound. You're rubbing salt in the wound. Hard and fast. Leave the poor Jewish banking family alone. Does nothing, wins. Does something, wins even harder. Oh wait, did I like this? No. I don't want any likes on this account, so God forbid the day when Gabe dies, because who knows what's going to happen to the company. While he better, like, any good founder or forger of a company that makes it out to be beneficent like this owes it to its customer base to make sure that the leadership who inherits it carries the torch properly and doesn't immediately sell out the company. Or sell out all its values that made it awesome in the first place, which, I don't know. Who would most likely... Alright, first grok question of the evening. Who would most... Alright, let me just test to make sure. Test. Who is most likely to take over Valve? Should Gabe Newell die or step down? Like, this is the problem with Bismarck in Germany, is he couldn't ever see himself as leader outside of that, and of course he was still ruling at the beneficence, at the pleasure of the king. And so after a succession issue from Kaiser Wilhelm the first to his son, who died of throat cancer, if I'm remembering, then to Kaiser Wilhelm II, the guy who lost it all. Kaiser Wilhelm II felt that he would always live in the shadow of Bismarck and didn't want to just be, you know, a figurehead for Bismarck to rule by, so he ultimately dismissed Bismarck, which he still had the power to do so. You could say it's not smart to do so, but he could. My mouth tracking did not track that. You could say it was not smart to do so, but he nonetheless had the power to do so. Scott Lynch, Valve's chief operating officer since 2000, is the most likely candidate to take over the operational leadership of Valve if Gabe Newell dies or steps down. Valve Corporation is privately held with a famously flat, bossless organization structure where employees self-select projects, but executive management, primarily Newell and Lynch, oversees key decisions. Newell holds a majority ownership, greater than 50% equity, giving him ultimate control, but no public succession plan exists. Discussions are purely speculative based on internal hierarchy and tenure. They should iron that out. Gaben, Mr. Newell, owes it to the loyal people who have benefited from Valve's beneficence as a platform for buying games. He owes it to have a succession that lines up so somebody like him with his same ideals that makes the platform so nice takes over, and it doesn't become like a feeding frenzy of, like, you know, well, which one of his children, if he has any, will you know, sell out the company if they're the ones purely to hold the stock. Position and tenure. As COO, Lynch handles day-to-day operations, business development, finance, investor relations, acquisitions, and product strategy. He's been at Valve for 25 plus years, making him the longest serving executive after Newell. He's got a LinkedIn page. Background: pre-Valve, he was SVP at Havas Interactive, managing Sierra Studios, which published Half-Life. He's integral to Valve's growth from a game studio to Steam's empire. Public perception analysis is name him as the top replacement for president CEO role. He's consistently listed as number 2 in leadership. Other political candidates: Scott Lynch, Bill Suggs, CFO, Eric Johnson, Robin Walker, a designer, influential on Steam mod, shares Newell's philosophy. Gray Newell, Gabe's son, heir to ownership via will, late 20s, early 30s, not at Valve, criticized company for risk aversion, too young, inexperienced for ops. I mean, if he owns all this, if he's going to inherit all the stock. So, ownership versus operation. Newell's family, sons Gray and another, would likely inherit shares, but Gabe will designate Lynch or committee for running the company. Valve structure favors continuity via veterans over outsiders. Fears of sale, e.g. Microsoft, or decline persist due to key man risk, but Lynch's stability makes chaos unlikely. All right. Hopefully that stays true and Mr. Lynch can carry the torch properly. And just maintain Valve the way it is. I don't want Valve to change. I don't want Steam to change. I like it the way it is. All right, I don't know. Let's just go. What's my For You page going to spit out right now? Ah, great. No, like, non-safe for work art. Which I don't think I follow that much stuff on here for that. The wait is over. The White House has, U.S. Embassy Tokyo has officially arrived in Sapporo as a frozen masterpiece to celebrate America 250. Japan, Deloitte JP, welcome to Sapporo. Okay, so Sapporo is in Hokkaido, so I guess, is this a giant frozen masterpiece? Was it a giant ice statue? Interesting. Me at the PTA meeting.
Kids look like retards. How many frickin' shots you giving them, you little... And they start freaking out. They go, yeah, I bet your kid was pretty smart, so you gave him all those shots, but you worship. They start crying. I go, good. A couple other guys go, hey, buddy, I'll beat your asses too. Because I'm not gonna kiss your asses anymore, you little scumbags. And you just look at these people and you're just like, my God, I wish it was...
Stop pulling your shirt like that.
Get away from them. But you know they'd come following us. We'd go build another incredible Atlantis, and they'd paratroop in to take it all over like all the people fleeing California, and they come here and they do the exact same thing. Their needles, their feces, their...
All right, so I guess it sounds vaguely anti-vax. Fuck. We should explore the biological consequences of time travel. It would be amusing to calculate the rate of evolution of a population. I don't know enough about Steins Gate to Epstein's Gate. Not familiar with this whatsoever. Is this supposed to be the Penguin? Uncaged, surgical precision, maximizing lethality. Department of War X US. Is this supposed to be the Penguin? Or is this a pigeon? I don't get it. Oh. Werner Herzog, filmmaker of the Faustian Penguin fame, here reads from Dvergatal, the roster of dwarves in the Viking pagan poem Voluspa.
Then gathered together the gods for council, the holy hosts, and held converse who the deep-dwelling dwarfs was to make of Brimir's blood and Blaine's bones. Motsognir rose, mightiest ruler of the kin of dwarfs, but Durin next molded many man-like bodies. The dwarfs
using the
under
same
earth,
music in the background.
as Durin bade them. Nie and Nissi, Norsi and Susri, Austri and Westri, Altjof, Dvalin, Nar and Nine, Nipping, Dying, Bifur, Bufur, Bumbur, Nori, An and Onar.
Yeah, if you're wondering where Tolkien got the
Jot
names of his dwarves,
Vitmir,
this is where he got them from.
Weig and Gandalf, Windalf, Drein, Tek and Thorin, Tror, Wit and Lit. I mean, the cadence is beautiful. Nar and Regin, Mirat and Ratswit. Now is
Ratswit.
reckoned the roaster of dwarfs. Fili, Kili, Fundin, Nali, Hept, Fili, Hanar, Smiur, Frar, Hornburi, Frag and Löni, Aurvang, Yari.
All right, that's enough. I'm going to be honest, it doesn't sound that nice hearing it. Oh, Tim Buttigieg. There's been some discussions going on who's going to be the nominee, Democratic nominee for 2026. No, 2028, right? Wasn't it? His polling a show, like, there's some polls coming out that Kamala would lead, and it's just like, really? The woman who lost last time, who has no and this was put out 2 hours ago. Way too online. The babysitter is weird. Project 2025 was real. Headquarters. Oh, great. Something that I don't... So what the heck? She's... Okay, so the last tweet was November 5th, 2024. Thank you for all of us at Kamala HQ. Thank you for following along. So... I guess she's going to try and revitalize her political standing, her political presence, so to speak, off of those polls. I don't know. Depends on where the primaries are going to start. South Carolina, maybe. If black people want to take her as, see her as their candidate. Pardon me. Because the thing about the Democratic Party is because there's such a high concentration of black people in the party as voters in primaries, they very much set the tone for who becomes the nominee. This is why Bernie Sanders continuously doesn't make it, is because he doesn't have the whatchamacallit. He doesn't have the support of black voters. They just don't understand who he is. That, or maybe they hear he's Jewish and then don't like him because of that. So, I don't know, back to 1974 Kamen Raiders X clip reveals Starfish Hitler monster. What the fuck? I'm not going to look in. Trump shifts deportation focus on worst criminals and local what? Trump told NBC News his administration will prioritize supporting murderers and other serious criminals from other countries, requiring invitations from local leaders before entering resistant cities. He drew the lesson from Operation Metro Surge in Minneapolis, where ICE removed over 4,000 criminal non-citizens, but faced backlash after agents fatally shot 2 U.S. citizens, leading to lawsuits and pullback of 700 agents a year into his second term. The U.S. has deported over 600,000 and seen border encounters drop to historic lows under 10,000 monthly, though critics highlight arrests of non-criminals and sanctuary city resistance. Non-criminals as they've done nothing other than just be in the country illegally. Trump's claim of 11,888 murders entering under Biden echoes ICE data of over 13,000 citizens with homicide records accumulated over decades, a figure fact checkers call misleading. All right, so what, we're going to wait for invites from local cities? Like, what's happening now in Minneapolis is now that they're just straight up like giving over criminals from the jail cells to ICE. They're recognizing detainers, even though they're not supposed to by law, but whatever. At least I'm hearing that's what happened. That's what's happening. So the point you should be hearing now is not that like they capitulated on Minneapolis, is that they, I guess, wear down the Jacob Frey and Tim Walz to actually have them like starting giving local police coordination to help them out with their deportations and also dealing with like the resistors.
Sounds like there is a shift in immigration enforcement here, that there's going to be a shift after Minneapolis. What should Americans expect going forward?
Well, one thing I say to my people, we do a good job, we don't get credit for it. I say they have to ask and they have to say please. When a city is
Who
going
has to ask and who has
the
to say
mayor
please?
or the governor, I don't want to go and force ourselves into a city, even if their numbers are terrible. Like, for instance,
Someone say, no, you should, Mr. President. You should go into hostile cities that don't want to cooperate you, like Philadelphia or Los Angeles or Chicago.
since I got a call from Jeff Landry, governor of Louisiana, he said, we have a big problem. Could you go in and help us with well, let's see, certain sections? I mean, to be honest with
Yeah, so the point is you want to like get them out of states where potentially you could if you do large enough mass deportations in like say a swing state like Pennsylvania, one, a certain amount of legal aliens are actually voting, that's them not able to vote and probably vote Democrat. And also that's probably lowered pressure on rental and housing, if at all possible, although that's still minor in the overall grand scheme of things. But also just general quality of living. Because, illegals tend to not be the best drivers. Foreigners in general, maybe not foreigners, but definitely like illegals, probably not the worst drivers. That's why everyone's car rates are so high, is because accidents caused by illegal immigrants. So if you could go into a state hard enough, if you put in the pain now, come 2028, if you deport like maybe 1 million people out of Pennsylvania, it might be a significant enough quality of life increase to be worth the pain now, and maybe suffering through bad midterms to make Pennsylvanians feel better in the long term.
with you, certain sections of the state, beyond their famous, beautiful city, certain sections of the state. We have done, not only in New Orleans, we've done a really great job in Louisiana, but I want to be called. Chicago, we could solve the Chicago crime.
Well, on that question, which cities are you headed to next?
We have 5 cities that we're looking at very strongly, but we want to be invited. We will sometimes call the governors and
Are these
say,
cities like Chicago, Philadelphia, are these the cities?
We could straighten out the crime in Chicago. We've already brought it down 25% just by being there. We could have Chicago be a safe city, just like D.C. is a safe city, just like all of these places that we've gone to. And I look forward. I didn't campaign on that.
Yeah.
I campaigned on law and order, but I didn't think I'd be going into individual cities and making them safe.
Anything else you can tell us about the 5 cities? The 5 cities, anything else? So Americans are ready?
We'll be announcing them very quickly, but we could do something. As an example, I was called by people, San Francisco.
Okay, so they got 5 cities up. So Minneapolis was a test case, but maybe Chicago and Los Angeles are too big to pick off right now. I wonder if like the operations are still just ongoing, that just may just like cut them back from, the surge that we saw with Operation Metro Surge in Minneapolis. And I guess media attention is not paying attention right now, and things have calmed down. So I wonder what those 5 cities could be. Because I know, like, Chicago's Mayor Johnson, whatever his name, has, like, formalized some rules for, like, police to arrest Chicago PD to arrest federal police if they see them doing something wrong. Or Philadelphia's mayor has been like mouthing off, Fed posting, you could say, about ICE agents. So I don't know whether other cities that they could go into. I don't know. Are they going to do an Operation Metro Surge in Houston? My fucking coworkers would probably be fucking livid about that shit. Because I got one coworker. She married a Hispanic man who I met from Bolivia, of all places. You could probably not tell that this guy was Hispanic. He's probably far more European descendant than anything else. But apparently her daughter looks vaguely Hispanic, so I guess she's like paranoid that her daughter will get like scooped up in an ICE raid. Because they do just like, look Hispanic enough, we'll round you up. You're in a known illegal hotspot. We're just going to round you up and figure it out later. So she flipped out one day when she heard rumors that ICE has showed up at like University of Houston campuses. I think she was genuinely concerned that her daughter would get arrested.
Francisco said, please, we have a Democrat mayor. He's trying very hard. Would you, friends of mine that live there, it's got crime problems. Would you let him do the job and not come in? Let's see how it works. I said, look, I can do it much quicker, much faster. Don't forget, we remove criminals. We took over 2,000 hardcore criminals out of Washington, D.C. If we didn't do that, 2% of the people create 90% of the crime. Think of that, 2%. So you.
Yeah, but are those 2% non-citizens? I don't know what miracle they pulled off with Washington, D.C. and cutting down the crime there. I don't know if it's just a lot of presence that went a long way to cutting the crime, because ultimately the problem is downstream when you actually get to trial, jury trials, and basically all black juries will refuse to convict in general a black man if it's a murder, they won't convict a fellow black man for murdering another black man because they, I guess, just don't feel that it's right to send a brother to jail, even if he did kill somebody. If it's between a black man and a black man, white man's justice can stay out of it, I guess. Apparently. So it's juries refuse to convict in Washington, D.C. When things go to trial. Is your mission now to deport everyone who came in illegally? We are totally focused on criminals, really bad criminals. Now, you could say people that came in illegally are criminals, but I'm talking about murder. I don't know how much of this is rhetoric, because, again, I want the people who are not necessarily criminals plus being illegal gone. I want everyone who is illegal gone, because I don't want you as a fellow citizen in the future. I don't want to risk you sticking around long enough that Democrats are able to push through an amnesty, and then somehow you're my fellow citizen. I don't see you as my fellow citizen. I don't want you as my fellow citizen, so you got to leave. Unfollow Discouse. All right, so mixed messaging on this, but it's like this every time. Oh. The Freeran dub line sparks debate on demon nature. The post-contrast subtitles for them, words are a means of deceiving humans. With the dubs, demons use words to trick humans. Arguing it flattens demons' empathy-free worldview into simply lying. In the show, Freeran's mentor Flama defines demons as mana-using monsters with speech that mimics humanity without understanding it, making the nuance vital to their threat as evolutionary mimics. Some praise the dub's flow and Mallory Rodak's emotional delivery, while critics call her voice too grounded for an ethereal elf. Debate. All right. Dub, demons use words to trick humans. I think this is more poetic, and this one just doesn't carry it as much as this one. Are a means of deceiving humans. Demons use words to trick humans. Humans also use words to trick fellow humans as well. But to say for them, words are a means of deceiving humans sort of implies that they don't see human language as anything other than a way to, totalistically, the only purpose of human speech is to deceive and manipulate humans. Whoever did this dub should be flayed alive. All right, calm down. And on top of this, Freeran dub voice being so bad, it's practically mischaracterization. I don't necessarily know. I'm not a particular voice actor quality right now. I will say one thing. I was listening to Synthetic Man on his Chudcast yesterday, and he's not liking Freerin. And he does get a point out, like, saying nothing fucking happens in this show. Like, the first episode, kind of nothing happens. They just have, like, a whole arc of, oh, they introduce the magic abating crystals, and, have a moment just like, they're constantly talking in throughout the show of how they're poor, they don't have enough money, and then they come across an incredibly valuable object, like the stone, this stone, but they can't take it with them. Now I could have like figured out how to write them way out of it. Like Freeman could say, as valuable as it is, it's too much of a liability for us not to carry it with us, even at a distance. Like you can imagine Stark, has it on his person and keeps himself like a good 10 meters away from Freerin and Fern. But then that becomes a problem. Like if you need the front liner in a real quick pinch while also being able to do magic, it could really put them in a hard situation if they have to keep physical distance to carry the stone. And the other thing that they could have had Freerin say is that nobody outside of a big city is going to recognize the value of this thing. The next town over, the next podunk town that we run into, there's not going to be somebody who's going to believe us that this magic crystal is as powerful, has the powers that it does. They're not going to recognize what it is. They're not going to get fed up in his money. So we have to either make it all the way to another town, months or days away, weeks or months away, in order to actually cash in on the value of this corn, or go back to like the last town that they were in where the magic ceremony was being conducted, at which point they'd be backtracking. Which honestly, I think it would be worth it, but you could just say Freer and say, I'm leading this mission in a more eloquent way. Say, oh, I'm leading this mission and I don't want to backtrack. And I guess, assert leadership of the party there. That could have been a way to argue out of it. It's like, it's too dangerous and we have to travel too far to actually cash in on it because only certain select people will understand its value, as valuable as it is. They could have just said that. And then they fall into the pit and then run from the monster, yada, yada. So he's making the point, and so Synthetic Man was making the point that like nothing happens in the show, and his brother / co-host of the podcast was like saying nothing happens. And to which point, like I'm saying, that's kind of one of the appeals to me is like how calm and not over the top this anime is, that Frieren is. Like you have your sparks. If anything, that makes the highlighted moments even better when like Stark is like, Kawaii, I'm scared. All the more like, penetrating because he's far more usually composed and, not cartoonish. So if anything, in the unostentatious dress of all the main characters, as well as like throughout the all the other characters in the show, is sort of like a breath of fresh air to me. So you say nothing going on. I'm saying this is a calm, smooth ride, and that's kind of why like I enjoy it, sort of. That's the weird thing why I like Frieren, is that it's not like an over-the-top shonen. It's fantasy that's just like a calm ride through the world. So I don't know how much to, one wonders if they're gonna lean into this third season to talk about more about how demons, are they going to have another thing where a demon tries to tempt them with empathy or manipulate them with empathy, and actually make, I don't know, are they gonna have like a really run deception scene that makes even Frieren question her beliefs? Are they going to do that? Are they going to undermine this like totalizing worldview that has been established thus far, that demons are always tricksters? They will always fuck you over. There's nothing that you can do to they will never be nice. You can make no quarter with them. You must always kill them 100% of the time whenever you see them, because they will harm you in the future. Will that be tested this season? I don't know. Will it always be free? Because if it's always Freerin fighting against people, fighting against other people who are gullible, and she's the only one not falling for it and struggling, to get people to recognize that just becomes repetitive at a point. So something to see for this season or future seasons is there a point where Freerin cracks, even though she is immortal and has seen this 1,000 times, has been beat into her head that demons are demonic. They will always screw you over. They will always wish you harm, no matter how much they lie to you. No matter what they say, it's always lies. Will she ever crack? And I feel empathy for a demon at any point. So, that would be the interesting thing, is like if a demon can figure out how to get Freerin to crack. Because like going back to what's his name, Zoltrak, and his spell, like you could say like, humanity has been able to advance, but demons just don't. Mikori, how's it going? I'm going over Freerin. I'm talking about Freerin. My question for this season is: are we going to have another thing where demons try to manipulate humans, and Freerin is going to be the one like saying, "Oh no, you can never trust demons." Like we've set up that pattern that Freerin knows you can't trust demons ever. But like this season or future seasons, the bold thing to do, I would say, I don't read the manga, so I don't know the future, is there a point where Freerin actually cracks and starts like doubting her own knowledge of demons as being ultimate manipulators? All right, I guess I'll check out your Twitter like later after stream. I don't know. And then there's the whole issue of this mistranslation of, for them, words are a means of deceiving humans versus demons use words to trick humans, where this one definitely goes with the more totalizing view of demons as, never able to like be had quarter with. No, thanks. I'm not going to go to your profile right now. I've been talking for about half. Oh my God, just reloaded. 13-year-old Australian boy. Oh yeah, that story. He swims 4 kilometers and then gets to the beach in Australia somewhere, and nobody speaks English, so he has to run even further to get to a phone. Now, what's else going on in the world? Nah, not going to do that. So if that's all you got is to show off your your Twitter account, then take your business elsewhere. What the fuck's going on? Oh yeah, Artemis mission. This has been going on for like a decade. Supposedly we're supposed to actually fly a crew to actually go around the moon. But they keep on finding leaks and problems with it. It would be nice to actually like have a manned space mission go that far out for America's 250th anniversary. Quadrennial? Is that the term? Oh, and even NASA has an emergency response team. Wonder what it takes to actually qualify to get in that. I've been also hearing like lots of like, scuttlebutt, as we would say in the Navy, that the reason why NASA is so defunct right now is constantly like loaning everything out to contractors. Or like constantly sourcing out construction of everything to contractors. And I know like Northrop Grumman has a whole program to try and refit the booster rockets, those things on the left and right of the rocket there. They had a test recently, and something didn't go right. so to speak. So the program's gotten shelved for the time being. I don't know. What's this? Satellite imagery from Muwafaq Salti Air Base in Jordan, captured by Planet Labs on January 25th and obtained by Washington Post, show at least a dozen F-15 Strike Eagles along with 9 A-10 Charlie Thunderbolts on the tarmac at the base as the ongoing buildup of military aircraft in the Middle East and the U.S. Air Force continues directed at Iran. Oh yeah, apparently negotiations broken down because they were apparently willing to negotiate whatchamacallit, talks about nuclear, but nothing else. And we said, all right, fine, the negotiations are off. We'll go back to our plans to bomb you. And then we weren't expecting them to say, okay, fine, we're done talking. So we'll see if this blows up. Wait for the weekend, I guess. Footage showing interceptor fired by Ukrainian MiM-104 Patriot surface-to-air missile system intercepting a Russian short-range ballistic missile during last night's large-scale attack against Kiev and other major cities across Ukraine. People trying to guess what kind of missile it was, but it's not known at this point. Last Wednesday, January 28th, the military gendarme of Poland states that the small toy-like drone of unknown origin fell onto a military base in Przeznaczyce, northern Poland. Poland's practically a square, so that's half the country that is north. With the drone seen flying over the base before crashing after it was secured and handed over to military police. Security officials say that the drone was an unsophisticated device that was possibly controlled using a mobile phone, while containing no recording devices such as a memory card or SIM card that could transmit data, according to Reuters. You know, just Russian subterfuge, just testing the waters, seeing what works. Plausible. Why is there a random U.S. MP here? Maybe it's a joint U.S. military base. This is from yesterday. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky announced Monday that Ukraine would be designating Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard as a foreign terrorist organization following the lead of the European Union. All right, I guess so. All right, fine. Let's just go to Clashport and yap about that. Oh, yeah. Spain is like going hard against Musk. Like they're going for broke on all their policies. Legalizing 500,000 illegal residents. Going out trying to force age verification on social media platforms. Oh yeah, follow the Telegram account. Trump on Iran post. We've had their back, and that country's a mess right now because of us.
So said, you know, where are the Americans? You promised them we would have their back. Do we still have their back?
We've had their back, and look, that country's a mess right now because of us. We went in, we wiped out their nuclear.
So said, you know,
mess because of us. If it would say, like, another way you can interpret that is that it's a mess because of us, because we've been encouraging these protests and saying that we'd back them up, and it doesn't appear that we're actually doing that. Because we're like going back and forth on whether or not we'll actually bomb Iran to avenge the protesters or whatever. Turkish President Erdogan gifted Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi with Turkey's domestic electric vehicle TOG. TOG. What does that name even mean? The Turks are really trying to set up their own economy. Trying to produce everything that they can. Drones, CNC machines, and now cars. So 6 hours ago, Iranian Foreign Minister Aragashi, nuclear talks in the United States are scheduled to be held in Muscat On about 10 a.m. Friday, I am grateful for Almighty brothers for making all this necessary. Okay, I guess the talks aren't off. Trump says Iran's communists should be worried. He should be very worried. Why? Zelensky, in Ukraine, the number of soldiers killed, career soldiers are mobilized is 55,000 and many are considered missing.
Est-ce que vous avez les chiffres?
En Ukraine, officiellement sur le champ de bataille, le nombre de militaires tués, qu'ils soient des militaires de carrière ou des gens qui ont été mobilisés.
55,000. Question is how many Russians have been killed. So what's the KD ratio? How is this standing for them? Journalist, this war, Volodymyr Zelensky, are you afraid of losing it? Zelensky, of course. Losing the war means losing the independence of our country. If we lose our independence and become part of Russia, it would be an absolutely monstrous loss. I'm sure it won't happen. If you hold out for too long and then your army breaks, then it could happen. Russia wants us to leave all of the Donbass because since they started this war, they haven't won any victories. They don't count the people who die. We're obliged to do so. To conquer the east of Ukraine, it would cost them 800,000 more corpses. It would take them at least 2 years. They won't last that long. Will you last that long? That's the question here, my man. Do you have enough manpower to hold that off? Can you throw enough drones to hold it back for that long without attriting your own human population? Putin is currently only afraid of Trump. That's a fact. If President Trump knows that Putin is afraid of him, then he doesn't have to accept all conditions set by the Russian president. It's Putin who is afraid of Trump, not the other way around, and thank God. President Trump knows he has leverage through the economy, through sanctions, through weapons. Journalist, does that mean he is not at all afraid of the Europeans? Yes, he's not afraid of the Europeans. They are our partners. They have helped us enormously, but Putin is not afraid of them, unfortunately. All right, brown-nosing Trump hard here. If Ukraine does not stop Putin, he will invade Europe. I don't want to scare anyone, but the range of their missiles is unlimited. They will strike everywhere. It seems a little bit unrealistic to me. If they're having this much trouble with Ukraine that they can't even have air dominance at least, we totally fuck them. Like, they may be able to, like, barrage enough drones and missiles through to start hitting stuff, but that can only get you so far. I think I want to say NATO is a far more cohesive fighting force than Ukraine is vis-a-vis Russia. Versus vis-a-vis Ukraine versus Russia. Like, I think we'd probably be able to establish air dominance, and we would be able to, like, effectively bomb our way into Moscow. To get here, we passed several barriers and checkpoints. They took our phones. We searched every day. Do you fear for your life? Zelensky, Russia has already tried to eliminate me several times. True. I don't feel the same fear as at the beginning of the war. I've gotten used to it. It's part of my life. Yeah. You know, people were complaining just like, oh, what if Russia tried to do this with Zelensky? They tried. They just failed. They did the whole operation landing special forces at the Homstrel airport in Kiev, and they eventually had to hold out because they couldn't, like, the Thunder Rush coming from Belarus didn't arrive in time to help them. It sucked. French President Macron's top diplomat, Emmanuel Bonnet. So we got Emmanuel Macron and Emmanuel Bonnet held talks with Russian officials in Moscow on Tuesday. The discussion focused mainly on Ukraine and were described as technical level contacts coordinated with Ukraine and key European allies. Bonn reportedly met Kremlin aide Yuri Ushakov, who's been like the Kremlin's special envoy regarding negotiations with Ukraine, superseding Lavrov, I guess. French President Macron's top diplomat, Emmanuel Bonn, held talks with Russian officials in Moscow on Tuesday. So, okay, so French official went to Moscow. Why? What was discussed? J.D. Vance on Iran. All right,
Iran specifically, like, what should we do with
Megyn
Iran?
Kelly's show. Fuck
a couple of things. First of all, it's the president's decision. He will ultimately decide how we handle this particular Iranian situation, just like he decided on Operation Midnight Hammer. What he has been very clear on, if you go back to 2015, 2016, 2021, 2025, the president said consistently, we can't let these people have a nuclear weapon. Now, why? Why does that matter to America? Number one, the world's largest state sponsor of terrorism. Like, you think it's bad when we have a domestic terror attack where a couple of people die, and you're right. What happens when the same people who are shooting up a mall or driving airplanes into buildings have a nuclear weapon? That is unacceptable. Iran specifically, like what?
The point of Iran having a nuclear weapon would be deterrence against Israel, who everyone knows has nukes. So Israel, like, because if Israel like popped off and actually launched a nuke at Iran, because they felt threatened enough by Iran conventionally, Iran would have enough nukes. Iran with nuclear weapons could destroy Israel off the map. They could, if they make enough nukes and spam enough missiles to degrade the air defense capabilities of Israel, they could get some nukes through and hit their major population centers and utterly destroy the area and utterly decimate Israel in a way that Israel can't with Iran, because Iran is such a big country. They can't carpet bomb the entire place with nukes. I don't think they have enough nukes to do that. So the point of Iran having a weapon is not to give it to terrorists, because that would probably ruin their reputation around the world, and give just casus belli to invade and overthrow them. The point is to have a nuke as deterrence so that nobody tries to invade and overthrow their regime.
Iranians get a nuclear weapon. You know who gets a nuclear weapon like the next day? The Saudi Arabians. And then somebody else.
I remember this argument from like a decade ago, and the idea is like, no, the Saudi Arabians don't have the capacity to build up that one that fast. And seemingly they don't need to, because they now have this mutual defense pact with Pakistan, of all people, who does have nukes. So and apparently they've even said that, like, yeah, that their treaty covers that.
In the Gulf Arab state. And so you have nuclear proliferation on a global scale. The biggest threat to security in the world is a lot of people having nuclear weapons. So what the president has said is, Iran's not going to get a nuclear weapon. We're going to work with China and Russia and any country, whether they're friend or whether we're a little more competitive, to try to draw down the amount of nuclear weapons that exist in the world. I think that's the most important thing you could do for peace and stability. And it's not just...
Yeah, France needs to give up its nukes too. And Britain too. JD Vance on Iran. We know the history of Trump does not have any interest in repeating the history of Iraq.
In the Iraq generation, I enlisted in the Marine Corps as an idealistic young kid right after 9/11. I went to Iraq in 2000, or I enlisted in 2003, I went to Iraq in 2005. I am very cognizant that the Middle East leads to quagmires. Trust me, so is the President of the United States, and we're hearing that. We know that's out there, but more importantly, we know the history, and the President has no interest in repeating the history of Iraq. What he does want to make sure is that there's a totally separate issue, which is you don't let crazy people get nuclear weapons and then lead to a nuclear arms race all over the world.
So preventing a nuclear weapon is not the same as regime change. All right. Yes, that is, but
right now I mean,
ultimately, if you have a regime that constantly wants to get one, you can only degrade them so much before the only way to stop them in perpetuity is to have a regime change to a regime that wholeheartedly gives up on trying to acquire a nuclear weapon. So, to a certain extent, the only way to stop Iran from ever getting a nuclear weapon is for the regime to change to a regime that does not want to acquire a nuclear weapon, assuming that they do.
you tell me whether this is about nuclear weapons right now or not, but what we're seeing in Iran is these protests on the street, not as much anymore because they've been killing a lot of the protesters, but it's, should we go in there and help the protesters get rid of this regime, like get rid of the Ayatollah, which, let's face it, it's much different in Iran. The regime goes well beyond the Ayatollah. It's not like Venezuela where you take out Maduro. It's a lot more complex. Even if we got rid of the Ayatollah, there'd be a whole bunch of others just like him, part of the regime. And so the last thing most Americans want to hear is what we heard in Venezuela, which is now we're running Iran.
Yeah. The president is very aware of all this stuff, Megan, but I'll tell you, protests, counter-regime. I mean, look, in a perfect world, would I love it if a bunch of freedom-loving Iranians, who, by the way, are amazing, they're brave people. If you know anything about the Persian people, they're like an incredible group of human beings. If they took over their own country and had a government that was much more friendly to the United States of America, would that be a good thing? Absolutely, that would be a good thing. But fundamentally, what the president has always been focused on, even with this most recent round of protests, you saw, I think his most recent truth, or at least one of the more recent communications he made about Iran, it's nuclear weapons base. We are still focused on this question of ensuring they don't get a nuclear weapon. And here's the good thing. Because of what happened last summer, I feel 100% confident that even if the Iranians were rushing towards a nuclear weapon, they couldn't get one during the Trump administration.
Because we set them back so much? All right, so we're kind of leaving the protesters up in the air right now, and he's saying that our focus is making sure Iran doesn't get the nuclear weapon. Which, you know, kind of disappointing for the Iranian protesters. Are just like, we want regime change. Can't you help us with that? No, we just want to make sure that the regime doesn't get a bomb. Doesn't get the bomb, the nuclear bomb. So that is kind of disappointing if you're a protester in Iran. So, all right, now on Greenland.
Our entire we definitely have gotten much more than we initially had. So first of all, again, I think it's important to define the interest here. Greenland is very important to America's national security. Our entire missile defense system, by the way, would be inoperable if the Russians or the Chinese controlled Greenland. So God forbid, I don't think it's going to happen, to be clear, but God forbid some foreign country launches a missile, an ICBM at the United States of America, we couldn't defend ourselves if a foreign country controlled Greenland. And by the way, the Chinese and the Russians have both expressed an interest in controlling Greenland. Okay, so what is the defensive mechanism for Greenland? You have a population of about 60,000 people on a massive territory, right? That's like the size of my hometown, and I didn't grow up in a big town. And then on top of that, you have Denmark, which has been one of the better NATO allies, to be clear, but has still radically underinvested in security compared to the Russians and the Chinese. So the president has said very simply, we are on the hook for this island. Like it's one of those unwritten rules that everybody knows that if the Chinese or the Russians affected one of our critical missile defense systems, we would necessarily defend that, but we're not getting anything for it. This is an unfair situation. The United States has no ownership over this island, and we don't get any of the benefit. So let's actually rewrite the rules here a little bit and say if the United States is going to protect the entire world's missile defense system, primarily our own, but other people benefit from it, we should get some benefit from the bargain. Now, it's interesting because I actually was sitting in this.
Okay, so the point is that we have a 1950s treaty with Greenland, with Denmark, to have uncontrolled access to Greenland for military purposes. So what's stopping us from going and saying, oh, we're going to you know, put missile defenses and like start building a way more American bases on Greenland and in the interior of Greenland? What stops us from just doing that now, other than the precedent that we've been drawing down? And maybe, you know, we might start getting Danish resistance to that. The only thing I can wonder is, like, does now, with the fact that Denmark gave Greenland autonomy and treated them as a constituent country under the Danish crown, does that now supersede that treaty? So let me ask that to Grok.
We definitely have gotten much more.
Let's see here. There was a 1950s treaty, like, all right, I think it was like 1951. 1951, specifically on April 27, 1951, between the United States and the Kingdom of Denmark concerning the defense of Greenland. This is the prior 1950s treaty you're likely referring to. It stemmed from Denmark's and Greenland's inclusion in NATO. Both joined as founding members in 1949, and NATO's request for arrangements to use facilities in Greenland for the defense of the North Atlantic Treaty Area amid Cold War tensions. The agreement granted U.S. significant rights to establish, operate, and expand military defense areas in Greenland, where Denmark acknowledged it needed U.S. assistance because it couldn't handle defenses alone. Key provisions include U.S. could construct, install, maintain, and operate facilities and equipment in agreed defense areas. The U.S. had broad operational control within those areas, including rights to house personnel, provide integral security, control air, sea, land movements, landings, takeoffs, and conduct surveys. U.S. forces, ships, and aircrafts enjoy free access and movement through Greenland, including territorial waters to and between defensive areas. This effectively gave the U.S. considerable leeway to set up and run military installations with minimal day-to-day interference, while Danish sovereignty over Greenland was explicitly preserved. This treaty replaced and expanded on the wartime 1941 agreement signed by Denmark's ambassador in exile during Nazi occupation that allowed U.S. bases for World War II purposes. The 1951 agreement enabled major deployments like the construction of Thule Air Base, now Pitufik Air Base, got to change that back, in northern Greenland, which became a major U.S. installation. At one point, the U.S. operated multiple bases, though most were later closed, heavily primarily Thule Pitufik today. Pitufik. I have no idea. The agreement remains in force with updates notably in 2004 to reflect Greenland's home rule status and limit active defense areas to Thule while retaining the framework for potential new ones. Okay, so like that's why you want to dig in is now does Greenland's new home rule, does that override, has that changed anything? Has that overridden the 1951 treaty in any way and restricted the U.S.? While it didn't give the U.S. Complete unrestricted free hand everywhere, new defense areas require mutual agreement based on NATO plans. There's consultation required under later amendments. It did provide better broad authority for U.S. military activities in designated areas, often described in sources as sweeping or almost unlimited access with zones. In short, yes, you screen far beyond you. How has Greenland home rule affected the status of this treaty? Because I imagine, like, the reason why we haven't maybe rebuffed our military standing on Greenland is because Greenland's home rule means that they can put up some resistance to it. Greenland's home rule, established in 1979, introduced greater autonomy for Greenland in domestic affairs while leaving defense and foreign policy under Danish control. This shift prompted updates to the 1951 Defense Greenland Agreement to better incorporate Greenland's evolving status within the Kingdom of Denmark. Through the treaty's fundamental provisions, granted the U.S. broad military access to remain intact. The primary impact through the 2004 amendment to the agreement, which explicitly recognized Greenland's home rule government and integrated it into the treaty's framework. Key changes include limiting active defense areas. This amendment designated Thule Air Base as the sole active U.S. defense base in Greenland, reducing the scope for multiple sites outlined in the 1951 treaty, while retaining provisions for establishing new areas if needed based on mutual NATO-related agreements. So, are we not doing that? Are we not like kicking this in and saying, "Hey, time to establish new areas"? We need to put we need to put multiple THAAD batteries all across Greenland. Enhanced consultation cooperation. It requires the U.S. to consult and inform both the Danish government and Greenland's home rule authorities before implementing significant changes to military operations or facilities. This aimed to facilitate local cooperation between U.S. military authorities and Greenlandic officials. Facilitate local cooperation, and perhaps there hasn't been cooperation. I don't know if we've tried, but maybe Trump just doesn't want to like go through the throes of like saying, all right, what do we have to do to make the Greenlanders happy so we can put more THAAD batteries there? He just wants to cut to the chase. Like, no, let's just give us the whole island. We'll make all the Greenlanders U.S. citizens, and then we'll with a far more free hand remilitarize Greenland. Environmental and symbolic provisions. The amendment emphasized adherence to Greenland environmental standards at U.S. facilities with periodic updates to align with the stricter of U.S. or Greenlandic rules. It also mandated that flags of Denmark, Greenland, and the U.S. fly over the base, symbolizing shared involvement. Acknowledgement of risk and contributions. It formally recognized Greenland's role in mutual security, including shared risk and responsibilities under NATO, reflecting the island's strategic importance. Greenland's further transition to self-rule in 2009 granted even broader autonomy, including recognition of Greenland's right to self-determination under international law. So their right to declare independence. or seek independence. However, this has not led to additional formal amendments to the 1951 treaty. Defense responsibilities continue to reside with Denmark, and the U.S. maintains its operational freedoms under the agreement as amended in 2004. Analysts note that the treaty still provides the U.S. with significant leeway for military activities, with Greenland's input now more formalized but not overriding core U.S.-Danish framework. Overall, Home Rule has modernized the treaty by ensuring Greenland's voice in its implementation without altering its validity over U.S. strategic access rights. The agreement endures as a key element of NATO cooperation in the Arctic. Well, maybe in theory, but who knows in practice at this point. All right, we're going to start. Trump says, all right, we're going to put 15 THAAD batteries all across Greenland. So we're going to have to build out whole new sites for that. It's going to totally fuck with Greenland's economy. Will Greenland not put up a massive fucking stink about it? So, you could say Trump's not doing himself any favor by trying to go that route first. And I guess you could say he has ulterior motives if he's not trying to go through the normal channels that we have established with the 1951 treaty that still exists to this day. All right.
Ran for their cigarettes when they exited the building?
Maybe.
Yeah, I think they did. They were stressed.
I did not follow up.
Ran for their cigarettes when they exited the building?
Maybe.
Yeah, I think they did. They were stressed.
I did not follow up. I did not see what they did afterwards. We had a good meeting. It's so funny to me because the Europeans, they're so friendly in private, and they're willing to make a lot of accommodations, and then publicly they attack us and they say, we're not going to work with the Americans, we're not going to do anything with the Americans. I'm sorry, it's all bogus. We all know, everybody knows that this situation is going to come to a resolution. I think it's going to be a resolution that's good for Europe. Most importantly, it'll be a resolution that's good for the United States of America. But the idea that they haven't made any accommodations or concessions to the United States, it's not true.
Ran for their cigarettes when they exited the building?
Maybe a solution that's good for the United States of America. But the idea that they haven't made any accommodations or concessions to the United States, it's not true.
I mean, that trade deal that von der Leyen got with them was a massive concession. They're willing to fuck over their economy with deleterious trade deals with the U.S. and India and fucking China. But oh my God, Greenland is a sacred cow. Our ability to censor the internet, that is a sacred cow that we won't let America cross. But, fucking over our own economies by importing, cheaper, more competitive products or government subsidized products. Yeah, sure. We'll go for that. We'll concede on that ground.
Definitely, I think a new world order. I think the president has sought to it. There's a new world order in trade. There's a new world order in globalization and the way that we invest in our economy versus, foreign supply chains. There's a new world order and that the president is willing to shake up some old alliance structure.
God damn it.
There's a new world order in trade, world order in globalization, and the way that we invest in our economy versus, foreign supply chains. There's a new world order and that the president is willing to shake up some old alliance structures. I mean, NATO, I think, is much different because of the president's leadership than it was 10 years ago. It was sort of coasting. It was effectively a protectorate of the United States of America. Definitely.
I mean, NATO, I think, is much different because of Trump's leadership than it was 10 years ago. It was effectively a protectorate of the United States of America. What do you mean by protectorate? They weren't... the common thing that you would say about NATO 10 years ago is that they're not pulling their share of the load in defense. Is that what he means by protectorate?
It's just really... By the way, Megan, one thing I would say about the Iranians that is just really weird to me, and I don't understand their system, and I frankly think that it makes diplomacy with them extraordinarily difficult, is the person who makes the decisions in Iran is the supreme leader. Okay, the president, our sense is, doesn't have a lot of juice, doesn't really matter. The foreign minister seems to talk to the supreme leader, and that's mainly the person that we've communicated with, but it's a very weird country to conduct diplomacy with when you can't even talk to the person who's in charge of the country. That makes all of this much more complicated, and it makes the whole situation much more absurd. He can pick up the phone and call Putin. He can pick up the phone and call Xi. Even countries that we have very hostile relations with, he can pick up the phone. North Korea. He met the guy at the 38th parallel. It is bizarre that we can't just talk to the actual leadership of a country. It makes diplomacy very, very difficult.
I imagine that would be some sort of what's the word I want to lose here? Display of subservience, if that they called to a certain extent, the supreme leader is supposed to be above politics. So for him to actually negotiate with directly with international leaders would break that facade as above, being above it all, I guess. Or maybe it's just that intransigent.
Who are saying, well, it's so funny. Sometimes you have people who are saying, well, the president's too belligerent. And then sometimes you have people who say, well, the president, he's talking about diplomacy and he's talking about negotiating with the Iranians. We shouldn't negotiate. We should just bomb them. What the president's going to do is he's going to keep his options open. He's going to talk to everybody. He's going to try to accomplish what he can through non-military means. And if he feels like the military is the only option, then he's ultimately going to choose that option. I can't, I'm not, obviously, even if I knew what we were going to do, I would not tell you and your many millions of listeners. It's so funny. Sometimes you have people who are saying, well, the president's too belligerent. And then sometimes you have people who say, well, the president, he's talking about diplomacy and he's talking about negotiating with the Iranians. We shouldn't negotiate. We should just bomb them. What the president's going to do is he's going to keep his options open. He's going to talk to everybody. He's going to...
This is on repeat. I blanked out. Yeah, I guess that is like holding out until you can get the deal until you make a decision. So I guess that's just like standard negotiating tactics. All right, and Pedro Sanchez. All right. Republicans launched Sharia-free American... Man, I don't know what is it about Muslims in Texas, but they really are like getting out over their fucking skis. There's the whole Epic City thing, which like apparently we can't legally do anything to stop them. But man, is it just like them like rubbing it in on the rest of Texas's faces that like, yeah, we're here, we're Muslim, and we're gonna make it a problem for you. And then there was some public school out in the middle of nowhere where some like outside group went up and set up a table offering out hijabs and Qurans or like pamphlets about Islam to kids at a school. They were not authorized to do so. People recognized that they were not authorized to do so, and they didn't stop them from doing it at the moment, and only after the fact are they now like coming out with it. And I don't even know what the demographics of the school even are. Texas Reps Keith Self and Chip Roy led a press conference Tuesday spotlighting their Sharia-Free America caucus, now with 33 House members from 18 states. They cited local issues from a proposed Muslim-only development plan near Plano. Yeah, so that's Epic City. East Plano, Islamic Center, a high school Quran distribution, and national threats, including FBI-thwarted ISIS plot. The group backs bills to pause immigration, label the Muslim Brotherhood a terror group. Are they really that active here? And ban Sharia in courts, while framing it as a defense of the Constitution and Judeo-Christian values. Critics like Mehdi Hassan called it Islamophobic, noting early Muslim arrivals via the slave trade. Yeah, they didn't stay Muslim for long. Randy Fine, where's he from? Florida, right? Islam didn't come to the United States on the Mayflower. We imported it relatively recently via suicidal immigration system. Importing radical Islam will destroy America just like it's destroying Europe right now. You can only import radical Islam. The main way you're going to import it is through Muslims, but we can't just like explicitly say, "Oh, we're banning Muslims from coming into the country." You have to be a little bit, implicit, but not explicit about it. Anybody complaining in the opposite direction? Why are we seeing terrorist attacks from radical Islam within our own borders? Man, that hasn't been happening since like the mid-2010s. With the Pulse Night Club shooting. I don't know. I think there was like one other shooting that happened in like 2014 or 2015 in California, but it's been actually very small, very limited Islamic attacks inside here. It's kind of died down recently. I think Muslims just recognize the futility of it and are more willing to, get their way through colonization. Who is this guy? Is he... Arizona is now being captured by Islam. Muslim radicals are showing up to city council meetings dressed in keffiyehs, threatening to burn down warehouses over ICE. This comes after a proposal for Qatar City revealed Qatar is trying to build 6,000-acre Sharia compound in Arizona. State by state, the Islamic invaders will destroy every state until their entire country is Islamified. I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised if Qatar is trying to like build a facility out here somewhere. It's not like they have a lot of people to export with it. As Texas goes, so goes the nation. As the nation goes, so does the world. And now is the time to ban Sharia. We will not surrender our freedoms. All right. What's that in the background? I don't recognize him. Gil is married to the daughter of an Indian immigrant. God damn it. Like, it's like every other like pasty white American Republican congressman or politician is married to a fucking Indian. Vance, now Gil. Gil's ignorant of American history and the fact that up to 1/3 of the slaves, 1 in 3 slaves may have been Muslims. Yeah, it's not like they stayed that way. And there's a difference between sub-Saharan Africans who were loosely Muslim and like fresh off the boat Muslims in the modern day. Gil's saying racist stuff about Islam and Muslims in America that he could not say about almost any other minority group. All right, Mehdi, I get it. U.S. Congressman erupts. Islam didn't come to the United States on the Mayflower. All right, same shit. What was that city? Oh yeah, here it is. Here's the story. On February 2nd at Wiley East High School in Marco Hunter Lopez filmed Marco Hunter Lopez. So it ain't pasty white Anglo-Texans that are getting colonized by Islam. It's Hispanics. Where is the Wiley East High School? I want to know, like, is this like in, outside one of the major metro areas? So it's near, so it's outside of Dallas. So it's in a metro area. So here, complaint you can hear these days is that Dallas has been like colonized by both Indians and Pakistanis. So it's like Hindus and Muslim Pakistanis all over the place in Dallas these days. So, all right, so it's inside a major metro area, so it's like the effects like creeping out of the city. Why Islam volunteers from Islamic Circle of North America, so not CARE, ICNA, distributing materials without district approval, leading Wiley ISD to call it a procedural breakdown and launch an investigation. The school's Muslim Student Association had promoted a similar World Hijab Day event with Dawa goals. Dawa? What the fuck? I swear I've heard that term. And Principal Tiffany Doolin shared her positive experience wearing hijab last year. Conservatives raised concerns about proselytizing and double standards in public schools, while supporters pointed out protections under the Equal Access Act for student-led groups. So who was allowed to come in and do that?
Story. What happened today at school?
Okay, so I'm Marco. I'm the president of the high school Republicans at Wiley East High School.
Yes, of course, I don't know if it's just the lighting here, but he does come off as, mestizo, not necessarily full castizo. But, of course, there's a Hispanic leading the student young Republicans at a fucking high school is Hispanic. That's just too on point at this point.
And today there was an organization called Why Islam that had a huge table booth in front of our school today, and they were giving hijabs to girls out throughout the high school, and they were giving out Qurans, and they also had pamphlets about Sharia law and other Islamic things.
Why would you talk? Sharia is such a pejorative term. Like, why would you even advertise that? Like, you probably just like get off like saying Muslim social law or Muslim social justice law. You could probably sell it like that and get like humans on it, even though everything you talk in there is Sharia.
Things, and they were giving out these bags, and I had a discussion with the women that were there, and we're trying to understand what's going on.
Was everybody in a hijab?
So they were passing out to as much, girls as they could, so that was their goal.
How many students took those bags?
I don't have an exact number of how many people took them, but I can say that they were trying to get as much out as they could.
Yeah, so here, like, regardless, like, of like how harmless there is a symbolism of like submission to another group if you take their dress and then take it on yourself. And it's sort of demoralizing if you just come in and see women of your own group wearing the clothing and aesthetic trappings of a foreign group that you consider like an enemy. So no wonder people don't like it as much as like harmless as you think just a piece of cloth over your head is. So trying to hand it out to women. So I want to ask like any of the young girls, like, what do you think about this? Them trying to hand out hijabs, like, just like optics wise, that just comes off as bad. If you're Muslim, you shouldn't be like trying to sell Islam by giving off one of the sort of like symbols of female oppression within Islam to women outside of your religion. That's just gonna piss off your host group. Like, you want to make Americans fucking hate you even more? Keep doing that shit. Like, try and have a, like, here's the next thing you do. Have a day, agree to a school underhandedly that you're going to have a hijab day and all girls are going to be encouraged, but, you know, pretty kind of explicitly underhandedly get the teachers to get them to put on hijabs, put on a big photo and say this is all about understanding and understanding law, and then just watch public opinion just like lose their mind. Like, why was my daughter in a fucking hijab? Why was she participating in this? You know, like, even like, you know, whatchamacallit, like, not even the most religious people might like, you know, perk their ears up like on that. Like, what the fuck? Raider National Principal. Yesterday, our MSA, Muslim Student Association, created an opportunity for everyone to experience the beauty of wearing a hijab. And this was from last year. So, Texas beware. Oh, Sarah Gonzalez. I was near her, physically near her, a couple months back when I went to a gun shooting. That was a political-based shotgun skeet shooting event, and she spoke for a little bit. So I was like near her, like by 5 meters. That's about it. So, again, of course, it's the Hispanic kid who's leading the young Republicans who's bringing this up. So I want to dig into this a little bit now, like, because this is a little bit close to home for me. Have they had put out a statement about this? Nope. The only thing they've had is about Ramadan. Nope. No even replies. What about why Islam? Did you know how many enslaved Africans in America were Muslim? Oh, they're trying to go with that angle? Are they trying to sell Islam to African Americans? Like, that ain't gonna work. That's not gonna work, buddy. All right, I've yammered off about that. Yeah, but this story, I want to pay attention to this story. Because, like, I don't even say it's like, you know, to any Muslims, like, you were just inviting like some sort of crackdown that's gonna make the rest of Texas hate you if you keep doing this shit. And this is mild, but like, please do something more stupid, like coordinate with the school to do a hijab day and encourage women to wear a hijab and men to wear keffiyehs, I guess. You know, like, don't announce it. You know, don't let parents know about it. You know, when it comes to public education and parents, there should be a wide chasm between them for the school to do with the children as they wish, completely divorced from what the parents may want, is I imagine how some people think. Like, operate under that principle. Like, use Texas public schools as a way to spread Islam among Texas youth. Come out and explicitly say that, please. I want to see that shit show evolve. All right, I need to shut the fuck up because I want to play shoot 'em up game. Oh shit, the video lapsed. I have it on loop. now I'm hearing it in the background. So, oh God, what the fuck am I? Oh God, I replied to something. I asked a lore question because I didn't know. Apparently, Sanguinius from Warhammer 40k was the Emperor's most beloved before Gilliman. Even though Gilliman's the kind of only person holding the Imperium together at this point. I'm going to make a reply here. I don't know how much of a fucking flamethrower Molotov cocktail I just threw into that conversation. Sanguinius is the Charlie Kirk of the Imperium. Oh, so maybe this account is saying Sanguinius. God damn. I go to this guy's account and the first like things I scroll through are explicit like new drawings of whatchamacallit. Of Chainsaw Man characters. Like, god damn. This guy also is like, I guess, English or Spanish language first. God damn. Good thing I didn't have that on screen. All right. Retweet out my own. What script? Do I have a script for this? Yeah, again, saying I don't even remember why I left off last time. I was like trying to avoid a mission last time. post, change. Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. There we go. Actually, I have to pull my... I'm thirsty. I'm going to get another water. Please excuse me. And then I'll... No, let me actually, like, set the game to run in the bat. Start up at least. Alright, I'm back. Oh god, is the game not gonna fucking run? Oh god, Ubisoft Connect has to go. Also put socks on because it's getting cold in my house. Lumi's still streaming. She usually doesn't stream this late. Turn off the videos. Come on, pick up the full screen application. Oh, yeah, there it is. God, I'm thirsty. Oh, it still has to load for... Yeah, you can't connect to the servers because they're not fucking alive. This game is a decade old. Yeah, got it. Come on. Pick up. Notice my controller. Version 1.0. They'd never even bothered updating this game from when they released it. Come on. All right, I'm actually gonna stop trying to connect. God damn it. Oh, wow, I could change that. All right, there we go. Oh, what the fuck? I need invert back on. It's just the way I'm built. I changed it a long time ago. And then it, yeah, there we go. controller for a second there because I forget which button's where. What do I need to do? There's a store. There's a hunting. There's also this over here. So I have effectively cleared out this area. There's also an assassination contract out here. Hostage rescue. I also just want to see what the heck even is this facility over here. I feel like this was something from the beginning of the game. What's next? Is that drop in here? I guess that's next mission. Yeah, I'm going to clear up some secondary missions like that. So, honestly, why don't I take a boat down? Yeah. I'm going to take a boat the long way around. Oh, there's the boat. It's just a little bit lower. Can't even use that console. Looks like that could be a set piece for a mission later. Am I going the right way? No, I need to do an abrupt 180. Island is a little bit smaller than I thought it was. Oh, wow, that bag is like jumbling around in front of me. But the other boxes aren't sliding around as much. What the heck is that? Can you see that? Is that coming across? There's like a blue sprite here. Whatever. Oh, I don't have any health stims. Then there's mecha sharks. What garrison? Alright, where is it?
Fucking feathers.
What did he say? Fucking feathers? Gotta say, the music hasn't kicked on as of late. The heck? Got $9 off of this bioluminescent eel. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Oh, fuck.
There you go.
Guys, beat it. Run, get inside the base, dumbass. Where's the videotape? Guess it's on a lower floor. Listen, you guys want to go out there and get yourselves killed for nothing? Be my guest. Might as well, re-up on everything. Oh, I'm quiet. got max 3 stims. Oh, there's the videotape. VHS tapes out of 12. It's very 1980s. Improved grip. Okay. It's magical and wonderful. Now go kill it.
Wow, really?
Wow, thank you for your enthusiasm, Rex Power Colt.
I'm coming for you.
We could have gotten caught in the blast, in all honesty. Oh my god, how did you even fuckers get in here? Can I actually lose the bases? Fuck you. How'd they get in the base? Jesus, what is this retardation? Also, I am just absolutely oblivious to damage. That is one of my problems. Again, the tank mentality that I have. What's going on here? Alright, so I was able to re-up on stims. Oh god. Oh god, he is right behind me. Holy shit. What do I need here? I need C400. Get around to a more convenient place. What weapon do I need?
Come on, come on.
How resistance to flame is this thing? Oh, hello. Motherfucker. Okay, finally a direct fucking hit. Ow! Motherfucker. Now I'm catching myself on fire. got nothing else. Shit. I'm gonna die. Yeah, so killing these things is no mean feat. Well, I think if I'm not directly hit by the blast, it doesn't hit me because I'm still at 3 health. That's gonna do anything. Have I got any kind of ammo around here? Where's the... Yeah, these dragons are formidable. Almost there. Holy shit. Reach the garrison. Oh, I leveled up? Alright. I want to go hang gliding. What's off in this direction, more or less? More I want to go over here. That's actually pretty low. Let's see if I can get to the oh, I can get to the base with this. Wait, what? New basic training available. RT, LT to steer, RS to look, fly low and straight to land safely, hold X to bail out, use with impunity. Alright, because I'm, just landed without, you know, any hassle whatsoever. Right, where's the... There it is. In the water, but whatever. Yeah, I need a up on everything, thank you. I do not need the flamer. I need a sniper rifle. Alright, what's this? Hunter. was an alarm probably to turn off. What's this? Hostage rescue. Omega Force captured a scientist likely for something kinky involving machine oil and pistons. Oh, very cute. Save him before he enjoys himself too much. Reward 250, 500 CP, and an aim stabilizer on the Cobracon. Yeah, that would be useful.
Seriously.
Where is it? Where is he, though? Way over there. I did not intend that, but whatever. All right. Let's just take the boat this way at least. I beached it. Oh, god damn it. Whatever. Oh. I have to be sneaky. Wonder if I just need to turn up the music. Scout around. Where's the fucking hostage? Where is the hostage?
Is under attack. Protect the cyber nerd.
God damn it. I am just like an absolute tank, and I am like, okay, I think I failed this. He's gonna die. I died first. Never mind. Oh god, get off the stupid fuck. Right, let me get to a high vantage point if at all possible so I can look down on what's going on over here. These guys. I have a more affirmative grasp now of what the hell I'm dealing with. Oh, there's one guy over there. Okay. Nobody noticed that. They probably should have. This flame fuck is gone.
is shot to pieces. Or
Fail.
shot.
Oh. Hostage has been killed, so I failed that. Oh wow, you decided to drive the truck at me? What did that say? Cover is the condom of shooters. Alright. Alright, let me just mark up everybody's here. And back over here. Why are you crouching over? You're not hiding from anybody. All these fucks. All right. Let's actually like get fully around this fucker so I can What did he just say? Crawls back out soon? Tribal tattoos and white savior complex. What the fuck is that? What the fuck?
The hostage before he is shot to pieces. Or just shot.
Alright, so bum rushing them was far more effective. But I guess the explosion was good at taking out that heavy guy over there. She's like, one black person. Did you say black girl?
That you would save your betters.
What did he say?
Darn it, I can't get that chemical formula out of my head. Maybe if I hum another formula.
White savior complex. Way to be like really on the explicit about it. Oh, I recovered the arrow. All right, what is there to do now? I kind of want to go back up to that glider that was all the way up at the top there. Back up I go. See if it's respawned at this point. I'm not helping them. They keep on getting in dumb fights all the time. So I've done that. I guess I'll do another story mission at this point, and then I guess close out the night with capturing another base. Let's work on the other southeastern end of the map. Oh, look. Alright, where am I going? There, drop a waypoint. Very good. I'm leaving. Fuck you. Leave me alone. Just cruising through the sky. Not a worry in my mind. That thunder, that lightning was at my level. That's concerning. I think it's coming across the stream, but there's like a weird outline of something that, I don't know, should be terrain that's rendering, but it's like completely lost from its context. Yeah, this is the way to get around. Do they have flying? I guess they only had these hang gliders in Far Cry 3, because I know they had the little whirly birds for Far Cry 4 that allowed you to fly. Man, I can just hear them being dumbasses down there. Is that supposed to be a checkpoint that I would have to fought my way through?
I'm near those coordinates.
Listen, a man, Dr. Carlyle, is helping Sloan build bioweapons, even though he knows he shouldn't. Oh, Rex, I don't know what to do.
Why are you being melodramatic?
Yes.
Assassination?
Sure.
Not a problem.
I know it's a terrible thing to do.
It's what I do.
Why is she...
Dr. Carlyle is at Shakma Station, a bioweapons facility on a nearby island. There's a security outpost on a ridge overlooking the straits. They have a hang glider there. Use it.
Objective. Secure hang glider.
Man, I can't aim for shit on this thing. Gotcha. Yeah, Jesus. Jesus ain't coming to save you. Well, there went his head. Ow, ow, ow. Stop tanking.
I call shotgun.
Ha ha ha, very funny. Shayakma Station. What was the name of the station? Is there anything else around here that I can scrounge? Anything? No. Wow, that is one indestructible terminal. Yeah, I already know the rules how to do this.
Doc, you said something about bioweapons?
We were trying
Oh, hey, like I said, that giant bridge thing was going to be a giant set piece.
Then we discovered its effects on normal people. It turned them into savages.
Let me guess. You tried to tell Sloan not to use it.
That's when he requested more rockets like the Red Spear. He's been arming them.
Against the Reds?
Against everyone, Rex. I think he's targeting the world, and Dr. Carlyle is helping him.
I'll stop him and put an end to his operation, Doc. Nobody threatens my planet.
Nobody threatens my planet.
Warning. Detecting enemies ahead.
Swerve. 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 Oh my God. Alright, sniper v sniper battle at this point. Bye-bye.
I give that a 9.5.
Did I get him? I guess I need to go through. Oh, hey, I blasted his body down. Get fucked.
Peekaboo.
Somebody over there. rock down there. Can I not get up here anyway? Was I supposed to hand glide through everything? Nope.
You think your heart cries in my belly? It's the only reason you're not there.
Nope. Missed it. I just swam over. I swear I swam. Yes, I shotted you like that. Shot it.
This little pig.
Take cover, dumbass. I am running out of shots for this thing. Yeah, don't realize how much low ammo I have for this. How many people are there? Just that guy. Anybody else?
It's raining men.
I swear I
Send
shot that guy in the
paramedics so I
crotch.
can kill him too.
Alright, fine. If there's one guy left, I'm gonna just run for it. Is the entire point of this thing ammo conservation or something? Alright, well, I'm through here. Oh, am I just supposed to bum rush through here? 8 of 12 animals killed. There's a giant claw.
Okay, on the island.
Get to the security outpost to open the facility's rear doors. The code is 653-9X.
Objective. Penetrate rear entrance.
Penetrate rear entrance. Yeah, haha, very funny. Got it. Man, I am just a bag of chuckles, aren't I? I can't enjoy a joke.
Your attention, please. The latest batch of hand grenades are defective and will not arm themselves unless you say, "Grenade out."
That's an interesting safety. It's got a mic on it. Oh my god, get away from me.
Your attention. I inadvertently broadcasted the trigger code for your grenades over the intercom and primed several grenades to explode. I apologize to those I accidentally maimed and or killed.
You fuckers done yet?
Your attention. The grenades also respond to the trigger phrase, "This."
Oh, I died. I tanked it too hard.
Get to the security outpost to open the facility's rear doors. The code is 653.
Oh wow, I chain killed those guys.
Objective.
Refill inventory. So I can get 3 with one purchase. All right.
Your attention, please. The latest batch of hand grenades are defective and will not arm themselves unless you say, "Grenade out." Your attention. I inadvertently broadcasted the trigger code for your grenades over the intercom and primed several grenades to explode. I apologize to those I accidentally maimed and or killed. Your attention. The grenades also respond to the trigger phrase, "Eat this."
I'm baiting him. I wanted him to trigger that mine. Please. No, fine. I'll recover it. Dumbass.
Knife to meet you.
Knife to meet you.
Heartbroken.
Heartbroken. Haha. Cheesy one-liners are getting annoying. Oh, I guess I can't get up to that tower. Kind of like barreled through all resistance at this point. What else is even going on over here? Anybody else? It's gonna turn into a big battlefield out here whatsoever. Why do I feel like I'm gonna have to do a game of maneuver out here with all these boxes and shit? Refill ammo. Should've done this refill ammo here instead of. What do we have to do here?
Proceed to the laboratory entrance.
What's even going on here? Where's the alarm? That was taken care of. Oh, fuck. Oh wow, that massacred them all.
He said blow me, so I did.
Blow him away with fire. Man, I blew like 4 Molotov's cocktails on him. Well, gave me the cyber heart without doing the whole animation to rip it out of him.
You can survive a fall from almost any height. Almost.
Doc, I'm in.
Dr. Carlisle runs the project that aerosolizes the blood for the Red Spear rockets. I saw the results of his experiments. It was
What's so horrible about it?
Don't worry, Doc. I'll stop him. That's a Rex Colt guarantee.
Objective.
Rex Colt
Terminate
guarantee.
Dr. Carlisle.
King Young Horse.
Welcome, Sergeant Rex Power Colt, to your last day on Earth. Release the Man-Kraken!
Unable to comply. Man-Kraken is in final completion phase.
You useless 8-bit piece of fucking hardware!
Got him. Bruh. Can I get him out of there? Or is he stuck in there?
Doors opening by themselves? I love 2007.
That was not something that happened by 2007. I'm sorry.
Darn it. I really thought there'd be hot island women here. Oh, the kind with tribal tattoos and a white savior complex. Yeah, I could fill that role.
God damn. Oh, your buddy's dead, so you're crying? Oh, well. I was wondering why, like, I don't know what was glitching out over there.
Detecting anti-life signs. Shooting them may provide for a distraction, or backfire on you horribly.
What the heck?
Good luck.
So it's a mad scientist with a knife? Oh, I didn't even do anything. That just gave that to me automatically. Okay, so they're corrupted. Oh, I guess that's what the bio agent does. Turns them into raving zombies with knives. You know, the kind of people that you find in a random San Francisco park. So it's 7 plus 1. It's as good as the shotgun I have in my house. Well, let me just get tons of grenades while I can.
Someone shoot him in the face.
I did not intend for that. I swear that went there automatically
Containment
somehow.
units will release running dead.
Running dead.
Shooting containment units will cause...
I know.
That's fun. I wonder if there'll be more of those guys. So now you got zombies. Cyberpunk zombies at that. Oh, I can't go back now. Denied. No. I'm not that easy to take down. Or, you know, I can just, yeah, there, like that. Take that apart. I'm at 56 of those things. Do I have to go up? How do I even get up? Maybe this is how I get up to the second floor. I guess so. And then this scaffolding above. I guess it's just a cover point.
Rex, I have partial access to their system. I'm unlocking the doors for you.
Oh God.
Hold on while I get that door, Rex.
Come on through. I gotta call it Phasertron, and it doesn't do anything, you know, like cyberpunky at all. Shoots regular. God, I am in a horrible shot. Or that cover is like, the hitboxes for that shit are really doing the work for him.
Getting the door open.
Oh, 2 for 1. That was an efficient grenade. Oh fuck.
Opening that door now.
Objective. Take the exit.
All right. Wow, he was just out in the open and I was just sucking. Oh, can I get body armor as well?
Be careful, Sergeant Colt. One wrong shot and you'll unleash my creations. The running dead.
Unless he shoots the containers and then leads your running dead to Omega Force, they are rather indiscriminate.
Why would you tell him that?
God damn it. Run.
Objective. Take the exit.
You fool. You think killing me will solve anything? The project is fully automated now. Sloan already has enough aerosolized blood and rockets to infect the entire world.
Doc, Sloan's got everything he needs to fire those rockets.
I'm coming your way with a chopper.
Just wait until I get my man Kraken operational. Why are you fools laughing? How's it feel to be last year's code, Sergeant Colt? You'll never beat me, you Neanderthal. I am the ultimate cyborg.
Where the fuck am I going? This way? Wait, where am I going?
The nerds put up
I've lost track of what's going on at this point.
Yes.
So 2 grenades, very effective at actually getting rid of those
Cyber
guys.
rat in my cyber maze.
No, I'm just gonna continue on
Detecting
with it.
gravity
Jesus.
elevator. Capable of reversing gravity to propel you upwards.
Whoa, 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 whoa!
This is where you die, Sergeant Rex Power Colt. Is the man Kraken ready?
Affirmative.
Release the man Kraken.
Unable to comply. Laboratory door mechanism has malfunctioned.
Detecting a weak point in the blood dragon's sternum. Target its glowing chest. Reminder, Rex. Crouch and stock up on Cyberhead.
Here, kitty.
If he doesn't distract the blood dragons with cyber hearts, they'll roast him alive.
Your microphone is on.
Damn it!
Here, boy. Have a cookie.
Someone shoot him in the face. You call that fighting? Are my forces giving you a hard time, Sergeant Colt? You've been entertaining, Sergeant Colt, but I'm afraid it's curtains for you. You're lucky, Sergeant Colt, but luck has a way of running out.
Holy fuck.
You Mark IVs have no panache. I could drive circles around you.
Damn it, I could have gotten in there.
Love it. Eat it, eat it. Snack time. Have a cookie.
Got him.
Send in more cyber
But, you know,
soldiers.
Sternum's definitely like,
This 8-bit piece of fucking hardware is obviously incapable of accommodating your superior needs.
Please, don't kill me.
Unable to comply.
Objective. Take the exit.
fuck you. Fuck you too.
Great job, Rex.
Now I'm just gonna take this all the way through. Oh, stealing the opponent, what? Where am I?
Rex, are you there?
What even happened?
I hate to lose you. I mean, a fine soldier like yourself.
Oh, shut up.
Objective complete. Get to these coordinates.
I don't deal with psychos, I put them away. What? Success. Summon the plague? Where did I even end up? Man, I'm in the middle of nowhere. Okay. I should probably, drop the gun, although, I don't know, depending on what this hunt... Where's the store? Get all my ammo. everything. Let's do this hunter thing and then raid a facility and then call it a night. Laser sight. Some shifty cassowaries are planning a rebellion. Stop their plot. Overthrow humanity by killing their leader. Laser sight.
Blah, blah, blah. Kill, blah, blah, blah.
Damn. All right, Rex. I get it. You're completely unenthusiastic. Got it. That's a blood dragon. I don't want to hear it. Oh, which one is their leader? I don't know. That was it? I'm gonna get some feathers off your corpse.
Whoever thought this was fun, I'm gonna collect your head and put it on my wall.
I don't even get up there. Where's the extra chest? Wow, did I seriously lose? That's how oblivious I am. I don't even know where he is. Get fucked. Where's the other? There's one case, now where's the other? Fuck you two for being a pain in the ass. Oh, fuck. What the heck is that Omega symbol? Swim through a marsh. Alright, well, clear to that, and, well, I guess that's the next nearest base. So take that out. I don't care what they think is going on.
Displaying new objective. Leave no enemies functioning.
Sure thing.
Alright, here's the base. Wow, I'm right over it. angry at me? There's tons of other guys for you to chew on. What the heck was that? So that laser harms me? How do I turn off the, I'm like Spears in that one episode of Band of Brothers, just randomly charging the fuck in. Oh, so that's the way to enter the facility. Where's the off switch to the shields? I'm gonna die. How am I still alive? That was not intentional. Where's the switch to let what's-his-face, the dragon, in here? Come on. Sprint, motherfucker. I am pressing the button so hard right now, and it's just completely ignoring me. That was so troublesome to do that. Man, so I'm just fighting my way all the way through this one. I'm not even, like, using the dragon or being stealthy. I'm just, like... Alright, well, that seemingly got him. Oh, the thing got in somehow. What the fuck? Okay, now it's in here. How? Oh, here's the shield right here.
Garrison mega shields deactivated. Garrison mega shields deactivated.
Hello. Oh, so alright, that was incredibly slipshod. I feel bad after taking that one, the way that it went down. Oh, and that just straight up crashed the game. Wow. That sucks. Yeah, I'm tired and I got some errands I have to do before I go to sleep tonight. So I guess I'm going to call it at stream. I don't know if that's saved or not. So